today is Mr. Bhav Dhillon, a recipient of Government of India's prestigious Pravasi Bhatia Samman in 2019. Bhav wears multiple hats as director of companies having varied interests in media, publishing, and property. Along with being a community leader, social entrepreneur, philanthropist, he is also the Honorary Consul of India in New Zealand. And Mr. Dhillon was conferred the Pravasi Bhatia honour in the category of Excellence in Business and Services to the Indian Diaspora earlier this year. Bhav is passionately involved in the India-New Zealand relationship and has formerly been the board and the treasurer of INZBC, and he is currently the chairman of the iconic Kiwi Indian Hall of Fame, which awards the trailblazers in the Kiwi Indian community, and he is also trustee of Foundation North. Bhav, can I invite you to the stage?
Thanks, Esther, for that gracious introduction. It gives me immense pleasure to come to these events every year and see a room full of Kiwi businesses interested to do business with India, and that is really, really heartwarming. So before I even get into the official acknowledgements, I would like to thank each one of you in this room who have come here, taken time on a Monday morning and spend your day talking, discussing, and progressing the very cherished relationship between India and New Zealand. So thank you all. I would like to start with a formal acknowledgement of our newly appointed High Commissioner, His Excellency Mr. Muktesh Pardeshi. I welcome you here and acknowledge you on your involvement in the first summit in your appointment here. I would also like to acknowledge the chair of INZBC, Mr. Samir Handa, and the treasurer of INZBC, Mr. Earl Rattray, and all the other board members and secretariat, including Gary, who do such a wonderful job in putting such an event together. So I really acknowledge all of your hard work, commitment, and perseverance in putting such an event together. So let's put our hands together and thank the team who's put this event for us. I would also like to thank the New Zealand government and MFAT officials, a lot of them who are my fellow panelists today, and Honourable Minister and Priyanka Radhakrishnan, a Member of Parliament, who have also showed their deep commitment to this relationship. So wish to acknowledge and thank you all. So now I'll get into my speech, or what I'm going to talk about. I do have a speech, but I think I will go meander a little left and right of my speech, so please bear with me. India, as we all know, I think nobody in this room would disagree with me that India is a land of opportunity. It is the fastest growing country as far as economic well-being, population, and also buying power. The burgeoning middle class of India provides an opportunity which no other country in this world today presents. So if you are not on the India bus, you are not on the bus to long-term sustainable growth in this global economy. So one thing you guys are doing right is you are in the room, you are on the bus where the economy is growing the fastest. A lot of things have happened in the past few years in India under the leadership of our Prime Minister, and I would need another 30 minutes to talk about them, but I would very briefly touch on some of the few key things. India has massively risen on the ease of doing business which covers a lot of different things. So it's getting easier and easier to do business with India. India and New Zealand now have a double taxation treaty as well. And India now has also started that one tax, one country. GST was launched last year or the year before. And that has become a real success. And it's a real good thing for exporters to India, because earlier they had to go through a raft of different tax regimes. Now they've been reducing successfully. To take any relationship further, especially trade, we need some direct connectivity. And I would like to say, and the High Commissioner has also said, and we've got people from Auckland Airport who would be here talking to us in a little bit more detail. But that is an area where the High Commissioner and myself are very interested to put every effort and leave no stone unturned to see a direct flight connection. But of course, there are commercial realities in that. But I would again like to emphasize that we are very focused to have that going. And I would also spend a little bit time on the Make in India concept, which is happening in India. And we have a lot of success stories, and we want some more success stories. Somebody earlier mentioned about Glide Path, who has a manufacturing in Pune. They are the world-class baggage handling systems. We've got Raycon manufacturing in India. Their parts were even part of that recent Chandrayaan, the thing that went to the moon. Of course, we are looking with very eager anticipation how Fonterra finally adds to this Make in India story, and we have huge expectations from Fonterra on that. We have ANZ Bank, who's I think got about 5,000 people in India, so it's not just about goods, it's about services as well. And some of the success stories which we want to see in the coming days are in pharma, motor vehicles, and also not to mention the service industry, which is of great importance for the India side of the thing. A lot of talk about FTA and RCEP happens, but I always say do not wait for an FTA to happen. India is open for business. Go and start working on that. And when I talk about that, there is a little cultural difference between how you do business in India and how you do business in New Zealand. And the sooner you accept and embrace that, the sooner you would embrace success in India. India is all about building relationships. So India is a very ancient country. We've got civilization which spans over thousands of years. So Indians generally want to be friends before they want to do business. So that's a line which always, I think, all the businesses should remember. First, go and develop friendship and relationship, and then business will follow. This is not always the case. In New Zealand, we are very clinical in our approach, without upsetting anyone, if I'm allowed to say that. But in India, it's a little bit different. And I think my fellow panelists would fully agree with me who've spent some time in India on that. Moving on, I would also lay some emphasis on the people bridge we have, the diaspora, the 225,000 Indians who live here. So if a business wants to connect with India and is not utilizing this living people bridge between New Zealand and India, then again, they are missing the point. So you've got 225,000 people here who can be your very effective bridge to connect between these two countries. And also, whatever product or services you have, try and adapt it to the Indian systems. I've got a few stories to tell you. Even McDonald's failed in India to start with. Then they added a bit of potato and curry in their burgers, and they were a success. And I was very, very happy to see that Fonterra was also following that, and they had a product which they called dahi, and they did not go in there calling it yogurt or something else, which they would not have found much legs on. And India is a growing nation. We have the world's largest younger population. So aim your goods and services towards the younger population there. And coming back to that relationship thing, which is my key message today, that in India, you have to go and develop those relationships. And another thing, when you go to India, you need to have a lot of energy, passion, and enthusiasm. So Indians like that. So when you go in there, the businesses should have a lot of energy, passion, and enthusiasm, and don't give up. You're not going to get very far in your first visit or your second visit or your third visit. I'm getting your expectation right. So you have to visit India many, many times before you get through. So keep going and keep developing those meaningful relationships. Another advice, don't try and go pan-India. Sometimes people think we are going to India. I always stop them. Hang on, slow down. Don't go pan-India. Try and identify. India is a big market. You even try and go into the smaller cities to start with. We want the Nagpurs, the Kanpurs, the Chandigarhs, and the Bangalores of India, and try and position there, and then get on to the bigger parts of thing. And do not underestimate the importance of a partner in India. Even Fonterra, which is the largest company in New Zealand, has found a partner in India and then entered. Those of you who are wanting to enter India without a proper partner, again, are probably barking up the wrong tree. But finding the right partner also, I always say, the right partner is not written on their forehead. You have to go there, press flesh, meet them, have lunches and dinners with them. And then after a lot of work on the ground, you would get the right partner. And a lot of success stories in this room who have done that. And even adding on to that, even the Motorolas, the Suzukis, the Xeroxes, the Hondas of the world, again, who are very large corporates, also went through the joint venture or partner road. In the end, I would say that there surely is a big pot of gold at the end of that long rainbow that spans Aotearoa to India. And I would say that don't underestimate the complexity or overestimate the opportunities. Visit India for yourself and evaluate your strategies. And last but not the least, Aussie bashing is surely a conversation starter, as Indian cricket fans also don't like Australia. So if you don't have anything else to talk about Australia and cricket. Thank you.